My name is Rakia Mohammed. I am the Director of IT Information Technology, and I also double as the coordinator for the eNAIRA project. And well, I started my career a long time ago. You don't want to know how many years ago. And I went through several companies before I got appointed to Director of Information Technology in Central Bank of Nigeria. Having worked in various environments, it's been quite rewarding because I got the opportunity to learn different cultures from different organizations. I also got the opportunity to learn about different areas like the core job. So as you have rightly said, mostly around information technology, having worked with different people, so you learn how to manage different kinds of people. Having met different people, my bosses, incidentally, most of them were men. I think in my whole career, I've only had one woman boss. So I must say thank you to the men, for helping me, mentoring me to be where I am today. So having learned from different people has been quite interesting. Being able to wade through and look at people from different perspectives. So a lot of behaviors you see, you may have seen them one way or the other. What had been a little bit challenging is adapting to new cultures when you move to a new organization. But yes, the transversal through different organizations has helped to shape and has helped me to be able to handle different difficult situations in different places at different times. Okay, I didn't know the world was going to change. I just recall, my father had wanted me to read medicine, but I couldn't stand the sight of blood, and in fact, during biology practicals, I used to run away, from the class. I couldn't just stand it, but I loved maths. And so when JAM came, and we looked through with my mentor there in secondary school, and the best place was to go for computer science because it was math heavy. In fact, in school, as a matter of fact, we used to run the same courses up to part 3 before, choosing your own specialty. So math and computer science are like just one coin, two different faces of the same coin. That's really what informed my choice of going into computer science. And then as God would have it, the whole world has gone IT, and I found myself here. First of all, let me say, our payment and banking landscape is one of the most matured in the world. In fact, we're way ahead of the so-called developed world in terms of the sophistication and the innovations we have seen in the fintech space. And so when the world was still, or is still even in several other places, doing a lot of manual things around their payment systems, around their financial services, we had gone way ahead to introduce several innovations. Like we were one of the first to introduce USSD because we had to look at our own peculiar challenges and innovate products around that. And our payment system is one of the best in the world. So there's a statistics out there that shows that we had some of the most forward-looking products that are available in the system. And it gives me a great pleasure to have the opportunity to work with leaders in the industry, my governor, who is a visionary, if you ask me, to make that possible. So sitting here as the head of IT in Central Bank of Nigeria, we have tried to work with the industry to harmonize our efforts to make sure we keep driving innovation while at the same time making sure the consumers are protected and there's sanity and stability in the financial system, as it were. So as you would know, we have a very vibrant youthful population, in fact, and that are eager to learn and are well equipped, and they are very curious. And then we have a regulator who embraces innovation. I would say everybody played a role in this situation, giving the right environment where innovation can thrive, having the people who are ready to play, and having the organizations who are ready to adapt. Central Bank of Nigeria does embrace innovation, and we have proved that time and time again. But with every innovation, there are two parties, right? Three actually. There's the part whose concern is just to bring the product to the market. There's the part, so the users who are eager to use the product. And then sitting in between them is the regulator. Our role as central bankers is to make sure we allow this innovation while protecting the interests of the consumer. And we also want to maintain the stability, financial stability, payment stability of the entire system. Now, if you look all over the world, you would see that central bankers are being cautious, let me put it that way, about this new innovation. So we've taken a look, we have engaged the industry, and this is something that came up as a result of the paper, of course, released by the Satoshi man, and the whole idea behind it was people wanted to relate with each other, just like you would relate with cash without an intermediary. But I'm happy most of them are coming back requesting for regulation. We have seen the impact of that, right? So consumers have been hurt, people have been duped, people have lost their money, and people have seen a platform where they could launder money, sponsor terrorism, and several other bad things. The reason is the transactions that take place between people are encrypted. That means people don't see them. And so it's very difficult for the regulator himself to be able to regulate this kind of environment. You don't see, you can't regulate what you don't see. And so we took a step back and say, okay, you are free to go and do crypto and other, but you must understand the risk. Look at the volatility in the pricing of cryptocurrencies. Look at what happened just a few months ago, from 20-something million per Bitcoin to less than 10 million. So if you had invested in 3 Bitcoins, you would have lost over 30 million. In the financial system, we took a deliberate step to be able to hedge against such risks. So if a bank goes down, we have the NDIC that has ensured your deposit, at least you'll get something out. This one, you don't even have an idea of how much people are investing. You don't see the transactions that are happening. You are not able to separate the bad guys from the good guys. And so it's something that will need the collaboration of central banks all over the world, because it's not just within Nigeria. You can transact with somebody in Antarctica without anybody knowing. His own central bank doesn't know. The central bank here doesn't know. So how do you protect their interest? That's really the crux of the matter. And so that's why central bank is being cautious and took the step that it took. And as the governor always says, everything is a journey. When we're at a point where we're able to clearly see the transactions, just like we see other transactions, I am sure central bank would be able to play in that space. Really, cryptocurrencies are more like assets. So it's like you buy gold and prices rise and you sell it off, and so on and so forth. The eNAIRA is just like your cash. So I go to somebody selling bread and I give her 10 naira to buy bread. She collects her 10 naira and gives me cash. That experience is similar to the experience of crypto. And that's exactly what eNAIRA will also do for you. It allows you to have that transaction peer-to-peer, just like with the crypto, just like with cash. Now, because eNAIRA is a legal tender, that means it's backed by law. And it's exchanging one-to-one with the naira. So everything that you can do with cash, you really can do with eNAIRA. And so there's no volatility in prices. The risk is almost zero with cash, right? It's, except that if an armed robber visits your house, he can collect your cash. And those are some of the things eNAIRA brings to the table. So it's safer. And with cash, you have to physically be there to conduct a transaction. And we're offering you the same experience that you will have with crypto. You don't have to be there to conduct a transaction. Your eNAIRA you can access it via your phone, and now with the introduction of the USSD, you can actually dial *997 and conduct your transaction. So we're bringing in the people who hitherto could only use cash by being physically present where the transaction is happening, to an online version, a space, a digital economy space, where you are confident that the value of that eNAIRA is still the same as cash. You are confident that it's backed by government, Central Bank of Nigeria. You're also confident that it will give you the same value and you don't have to even be there. And you're also confident that when you conduct a transaction, it's settled instantly and the settlement is final, meaning once I say I'm going to give you 5 naira and I collect your bread, you are sure you will get that 5 naira, just like you're sure you would get with cash. Now, with cryptos, it's almost the same thing, except that there are, of course, intermediary, the exchanges and so on, unless you choose to go online and create your own wallet. And you know the risk also, when you lose your keys, you're like the man who was buried with his key and so on, and he went away with people's money. We chose to use the account-based CBDC, where your keys are still safe. Even if you lose them, you still have access to your money. So those are some of the similarities and differences between eNAIRA and crypto, and the similarities and the additional possibilities that eNAIRA brings in addition to the characteristics of cash. What Central Bank is doing is we're providing a platform. And I don't know whether you followed the hackathon we held. We had some brilliant ideas, over 4,000 entries from Nigerian youths who thought that they could build products on top of that. And some of the products we have seen is to give people the opportunity to do staking, which is similar to them earning some income on top of their eNAIRA. So that's by the way. On your latest question about cross-border and remittances, if you had read our design paper, which we posted 1 year ago, and what the governor said, the eNAIRA is a journey, right? The next phase is to allow people to be able to transact. But you know, so most nations are careful when it comes to transacting with currencies that are not yours. You don't want to have a situation where you have the case of currency substitution. So we have for the Bank for International Settlement, working with a number of central banks to make and facilitate cross-border transactions across different digital currencies. So once that happens, people can transact with eNAIRA and be able to buy things from other countries. And just yesterday, we took presentation with from the likes of Alibaba, who are already playing in this space. You can go online and buy things, but you have to find dollars. What we're working with them to do is to allow Nigerians to be able to use eNAIRA to buy anything, anywhere in the world. It's coming. The journey has just started. If you noticed, we haven't really made any noise about eNAIRA, so to speak, because we were testing with people who already are used to playing in that space, and we believe we have seen how the journey could evolve. We have seen the challenges, and we're trying to fix them. And the introduction of USSD is just one of those things we're introducing. It's going to be a gradual thing. I believe once Nigerians get to understand the values that eNAIRA brings, they will embrace it. I have no doubt in my mind. If you would come back in the next 3 to 4 years, we will be talking about who doesn't have eNAIRA instead of who has eNAIRA. It's just a matter of time. When we started, we decided to test with a smaller group of people. If you understand the landscape, you would see that over 60% or 70% of Nigerians don't have smartphone. So when we launched with a wallet. And that wallet requires you to have a smartphone to operate. That's one of the reasons. The second reason, as I said, is we wanted to test with the people who have been playing. So you have a bank account, you have a mobile app, and you're able to operate in the digital landscape. The third reason is there's the question of understanding the difference between eNAIRA and the cash and the mobile products that are in the market as well. And so we didn't really go all out to talk to merchants or, you know, to all those big organizations to say, we wanted to go through the journey with this set of people. And I believe we have learned a lot of things from that journey. And now we're opening up to include others, especially the unbanked. We were talking to cattle rearers, you know, in one community. One of our partners was talking to them. And once he explained to them that they don't need to carry cash anymore. So they go to this community, this market, sell their cattle, and then they are going back home. You know, it's a lot of money, right? I don't know how much a cattle costs now. And they're going back to their community, and then they are waylaid by armed robbers and so on. And once they understood that, if they have eNAIRA, and this eNAIRA is sitting somewhere in their wallet, people cannot steal it. So you don't have to have that fear. They can't lose it. It can't get burnt. Your eNAIRA will always be there. There was a time, just last week, I went to a shop and I forgot all my cards at home and I didn't have cash. And I had collected, the things I wanted to buy. I was at the counter. I looked for my cards. I realized that I left my purse at home and I couldn't pay. So I started taking out the things and dropping them and then had to pay with a little cash. If I had my eNAIRA, because my phone is always with me, I could have easily paid with the eNAIRA. Second scenario, somebody went to another shop and the network was down. And there was a long queue of people in all the tills and they were waiting there, for people to, for the network to come back up. When she asked, do you accept eNAIRA? And the man said yes. She went right to the front of the queue, paid within 1 minute, and everybody was wondering what happened. So we realized that there's a lot of communication that has to go out there for people to understand us. So the communication is coming out, and this is one of the areas I hope you help us to send the word out there about how much it will help if people would embrace eNAIRA and bring a lot of GDP. It's one of the risks we looked at when we were really conceiving the design of the product, financial disintermediation. So luckily we've been working together with the banks, and once we realized that once people begin to understand the benefits eNAIRA will bring to them, they are likely to want to move their money from the commercial banks to the central bank, and we don't want that to happen. Because if there are no deposits in the commercial banks, then they won't have money to loan out. And if they don't loan out money, it means there will be no activities in the industry and all kinds of negative impacts on the economy. So we did recognize that. So we limited the amount of money that people can hold in their different wallets. I don't know whether you read the design paper, but we have 4 categories of wallets. So we have the tier 3, and so you need to be a tier 3 customer with a bank, and each wallet is tied to a bank. You need to be a tier 3 customer and you can hold a maximum only 5 million naira, and that is on daily basis, and your transaction cannot be more than 1 million naira per day. And we expect that people will move back their money to their bank accounts once they exceed that threshold to be able to continue the transaction. The same thing with all the other wallets. The lowest wallet has a maximum transaction limit of 20,000 and a maximum balance of 50,000 per day. So, and if you look at that, it's not really impacting the money in circulation. So we're taking the money out of what's in circulation to put for people to transact with. And we're looking at micro payments. So we're not doing eNAIRA for people, big men like you, who would go and buy maybe a 10 million mansion. You can't pay with eNAIRA in that kind of situation. So you're looking at the suya man, where you go and spend 1,000 naira. You're looking at the amala woman, where you go and spend 200 naira. You're looking at shopping you do, maybe maximum of 5,000, those kind of amount, not big time money. Those will still go to the banks because we want to maintain the financial system stability. The second thing is, when I go to my bank and withdraw cash, it's already out of the banking system. Those are our real targets. So we don't want them to be holding cash as much as possible. Cash will still play, eNAIRA is supposed to complement cash, but as much as possible we want people to go digital and take advantage of the advantages of the things that the digital economy has to offer to this nation. And in any case, we're going there gradually. Almost every Nigerian has a phone, whether it's a smartphone or a feature phone, and they're operating in this stage, in that stage. So how many people really go out to buy credit now? You do it from your phone, right? You're already in the digital economy. You're already in that space. You're playing. I think most people have now realized it's not about your gender anymore. It's about your ability to do what you're interested in and where you have the opportunity to act. So most of the people who came, we just focused on what they came for. And everybody in the team has been so supportive. And let me just start by saying it's not just me. I have many colleagues that are on this project. And so, in fact, some of the things, the feedbacks we received from such visits is they are surprised that whoever speaks the same language, we talk about the same design, the same product, and the same vision. So we have a very cohesive team and that shares in the vision of the governor, and we are all working together towards achieving that vision. And that has propelled the development of this product and has kept us on our toes to be able to continue to advance this very laudable initiative. What they are really, really surprised about is even the number of people who have been on the project and that are still doing the work, and how fast we're able to do it despite the fact that only one other central bank has gone live. Yes, so when you talk about government procurement, so for the short term, of course, we're looking at crypto, but we do have a very big vision in the country together with the financial institutions. By the time when we begin to tokenize the assets that they offer, then the answer is yes. We should be able to see government procurement, big time payments, big ticket payments being on the chain. The whole idea started with us engaging all the other regulators, SEC included. So we have EFCC, we have ICPC, every stakeholder that had anything to do with financial transactions, assets, and so on. This journey started around 2016, not today. And we've been working towards, having a common goal on how we want to allow the youth to do what they want to do while keeping the other people safe, the transactions with other people safe, the investment. And so where cryptos are regarded as assets, that is in the purview of SEC. Where they're regarded as currency, that's in the purview of Central Bank of Nigeria. And we are still working with SEC. If they have to do their work, they have to do their work. But CBN will also have to do its work. So CBN is not saying, I'm repeating again, don't go and invest in cryptocurrency. We're saying if you do that, it's at your own risk. Because for us, it's very critical that we create an ecosystem where good people with genuine interest in conducting transactions, whether within or outside the country, are able to do so and go to sleep at night. That's really the bottom line. But if we are not able to do that, then we have to take a step back and say, look, let's look at this one more time and see how we can make it possible. So that is the situation. Okay, for the sandbox, is a platform that allows you to come and showcase your idea, and we as the regulators are able to evaluate the product, even offer you advice, and make sure once the product goes to the market. So all these things I'm talking about, protecting consumers and all that, are already inbuilt in your product. And it's been quite a journey. I'm a member of the steering committee of the project, and I believe in the next coming weeks, we should be making a pronouncement on the sandbox itself to open it to the public, where, just like we did with a hackathon, people would be able to submit their entries and have the opportunity to come on that platform and showcase their products. And then we will be able to see how we can continue to innovate around that. The Financial Inclusion Secretariat sits with our Development Finance Department, but we're working hand in hand with them. And we have several partners, the SANEFs, even the banks. So we have super agents that are out there going to remote places where the banks would ordinarily not go because of investment. Return on investment is very low. So for us, we have set target. And we're very passionate, as you said, about achieving that target. We hope by the time, I think our new target is by 2025, we would achieve, I think 95% if I'm not mistaken. Again, with the eNAIRA, we're pushing hard. So we're harnessing all kinds of innovations that are out there to be able to reach the unbanked and the underserved and bring them into the formal sector. So let me start by saying I am an average person. There's nothing special. And all through my education, my journey, I attended government schools. Nothing special. My primary school, yes, it was owned by Ansarudin, but it became LEA. And I went to a federal government college. I went to Aboka Tafawa, they are all government schools. So I didn't even have the opportunity to go to any private university or anything. And when I did my master's, I also went to Manchester University of Technology. It's not a private school either. So what I want to say to them is, you just need to be you. You just need to work hard and believe in yourself. Several times I don't look at myself as a woman. I look at myself as just any ordinary human being that can do anything that you set yourself to do. I think also the environment has made it possible. With the internet, you can do so many things from the comfort of your home. You don't even have to go out to learn so many things. It is a lot easier now to learn. And if you have mentors, so like you don't have to have an auntie living next door or living in your house. You can find several mentors, whether online or offline, and there are several organizations that have come up to assist, and several people who are specifically focusing on the girl child education. I do realize there are still cultural barriers where people still don't send their girls to school or marry them off early, or the husbands insisting they don't have to work and all that. But things are changing. I am happy all through my career, all through my life. I've had men and women who have stood by me and have encouraged me to be where I am. And I want to send this message to everybody that we can encourage the next girl, we can encourage the next boy for that matter, and give them the opportunity to excel. And there are several of them who can excel.